Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. Hope you are enjoying all the videos that I am uploading. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon so that you get all the future videos as updates to your mobile or emails. Today I'm back with another problem from Leetcode. 4 divisors. Given an integer array nums, return the sum of divisors of the integers in that array that have exactly 4 divisors. If there are no such integers in the array, return 0. So basically we have to see if there are any integers with only 4 divisors. So that is what it is, exactly 4 divisors, right? So exactly 4 divisors. If so, we'll have to return the sum, right? Return the sum of those divisors, right? So for example, if the input is 21, 4 and 7. So for 21, the divisors are 1, 3, 7 and 21, right? So these are only divisors. And for 4, 1, 2 and 4. For 7, obviously it's a prime number, so it's only 1 and 7, right? So for out of these 3 numbers, only 21 has the required amount of divisors, that is 4 divisors, right? So for that case, right, we have to add up the numbers, basically 3 plus 1 plus 3 plus 7 plus 21, so that is 32. We'll have to return that number, right? So that's logic. So this is from the description, it looks pretty simple. So basically we'll need to find out the divisors for a given number. If there are exactly 4, then only that is a candidate for us. Otherwise, if it is less or greater than 4, then obviously no, right? So for example, if you are looking for let's say 16, right? 16 is a number, right? So 1 and 16 are obviously divisors, and 2 is a divisor, and 4 is a divisor, and 8 is a divisor. So in this case, right, so there are 5 divisors, right? So if 16 was a number, then that would not be included in our final sum because it has 5, right? But we are looking for exactly 4 divisors, right? So the thing is, first we need to calculate the divisors, right? So what it takes to calculate divisors is a question, right? How long you can go, right? How long you can go, right? So those are the things that we need to really look for. So obviously there are divisors that you can easily guess, right? So for a given number, right, so if n is the number, so 1 is the divisor and n is the divisor, right? So these are by default divisors, right? So if n is equal to 1, basically you don't add this one, right? If n is equal to 1, you don't add that. But if n is not equal to 1, then 1 and n. So these are the common divisors, what you can think very easily, right? But how to get to the other divisors, right? So we are going to check until starting from 2 till square root of the number, to see if any number between 2 and square root of the number is able to divide n, right? Is able to divide n without any residue, right? So if that is the case, then we are good. That becomes a divisor for it. So let's go look at the brief algorithm here. Have a sum as total sum to be returned initialized to 0, right? So that's what we need, right? So return 0 if there is no such integer, right? So that's why we are going to initialize it to 0. And for each number, try to find out the divisor for the number. So for divisor, finding the divisors, right? So here we can do 2 steps at one time, right? So you keep count of the divisors. If there are more than 4, then you don't have to continue further. You can just break out, and then you no longer have to continue finding the divisors. For example, the number 16, what we looked at, right? So it has 1, 16, 2, 4 and 8. So that means once you calculate 8, right, you don't have to go further, right? Likewise. So the thing is how long you can go, right? So do you want to start from 2 to 16 or 1 to 16? In the case of 16, obviously no. So as we talked, we are going from 2 to square root of the number. So we can go until square root of the number to check the divisors, right? So when n by I, so I is where, so this is I we go from 2 to square root of n, right? So when n by I is equal to I, that means for 16, 4 into 4, right? So 16 by 4 is equal to 4. When I is equal to 4, right? So you don't have to add 4 two times. You just add only one divisor, right? I. Otherwise, you add I and n by I. So for example, when you are at 2, right? 16 by 2 is 8. So you add 2 and 8. So you add 2 and 16 by 2, that is 8, right? So you add 2 divisors there. So if there are exactly 4 divisors, then add the sum to the global sum. Otherwise, you are going to discard that number anyway, right? So let's go look at the code to get the get divisors, right? First, so that's what is our interest, right? So for example, given n, right? So initialize the list of divisors, right? And you add the number itself, right? First, as we said, for a given number, 1 and n are the divisors, right? So for that sake, we add the divisors to n to the divisors. So increment, initialize the count to 1. If n is not equal to 1, you add 1 also, right? So that means you add 1 and n, right? So you increment the count so that by then you have 2 divisors already, right? And then you go through 2 to square root of n, right? And see if any of them, right? If any of them is equal to 0, right? Then you add the divisors of I and check if n by I is not equal to I. If it is, then you don't have to add because you already added. If it is not, you add n by I also and increment the count. And here just check if count is already greater than 4 or not. If it is already greater than 4, you don't have to process further. You don't have to process further. You just return now, right? And finally, for whatever the chance, if count is not equal to 4, that means you might have added 2 here, right? For example, 7 case, right? You just have only 2 divisors. It won't even add anything in here. So the count will be still 2. If count is not equal to 4, then also you return null from here, right? So basically, this function is going to return the divisors only if there are 4 divisors, right? So now for each number, right, you try to get the divisors. If the divisors are not null, then you add them up and put into the and add to the sum. Finally return the sum, right? So this is how we are going to get the sum of the 4 divisors. Okay, hope it cleared up all the doubts. Anything you have. If you have any doubts, you can put in the comment section. I'll get back to you very soon. So if you like the video, please subscribe to the channel and don't forget to click the bell icon. So if you click the bell icon, what happens is all my future videos will be sent as notifications to your email or mobile devices. Please share among your friends. If you're looking for one-on-one coaching or mock interviews, please leave your email in the comment section. I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching. I'll be back with another video very soon.